Today we're going to be reviewing Zootopia. So Zootopia follows a bunny named Judy Hopps who wants to go to Zootopia so that she can become a police officer. And after so many months of training in the academy, give or take 4 years, she finally graduated and became an official cop. Unfortunately, after she got to Zootopia and reported into the office, well, she became a meter maid instead. And even though she did prove that she could do her job by noon, well, she technically got one. She was late by just a 1 meter, but still. After that, she met a fox named Nick, who she thought was being a criminal because he's a fox, but really he was just trying to help. He was just trying to help his son, and after meeting them again, it soon revealed that she just got hustled by Nick with his friend named Finnick, and after being a little doubtful with Nick saying that she'll never become a cop, she starts her second date and stops a weasel from stealing some rutabagas, I believe, and no, it was moldy onions. And after figuring out that a dozen predators have been captured and reported missing, she takes the job to find the most recent predator that has gone missing, Emmett Otterton. She soon finds out that one suspect that will lead her to find Emmett Otterton is the very same fox, Nick Wilde, that hustled her. And after finding some dirt on him, she forces him to help him find the missing otter or he'll go to prison. Alright, so I'm going to tell you guys my history behind the movie because I just love telling my history behind movies wherein I review things. There's not really much to really talk about in terms of history with the movie, from announcement to watching the movie. So the closest I can say for now is that I didn't know much about the movie until I went to theaters and saw promotional boards for it, where they had displays for upcoming movies. Yeah, I saw one on Zootopia, and I didn't really know much about it. I just didn't really care about it. And then I saw a teaser trailer for it where they went to the driving department, I believe, the DMV, I think that's what it's called, and they met Flash the Sloth, and yeah, I got really curious about the movie. I didn't watch it in theaters, but I was able to watch it when it was released on Netflix for free, and when I watched it, I did like it. I did like it for the most part, but within the time scale of 2016 and 2017, things weren't really going well for me in terms of anything. So the subject matter of stuff like racism, prejudice, and a bunch of other serious topics that has been in animated movies lately kind of ruined the movie for me. So I kind of stayed away from it. There were times where I did watch it and my thoughts on the overall subject of the movie did go away. It's just that in times it's hard to really enjoy those movies when you had those feelings in the early days of watching it when it came out. So when the sequel was coming out, I knew I had to watch the movie again to be prepared for the sequel. And honestly, my perception of the film actually changed. So the movie does have a huge focus of racism and prejudice, which is actually a really, really, really good and an important lesson to learn for kids, and especially in my time, or at least the time that the movie came out. But in my opinion, it wasn't really that bad. Judy's character arc in the entire movie was actually really great, where in the start of the movie, she did actually have a play where it basically detailed the timeline of how the old times were. I guess you could say it was the Stone Age for them, where Predator hunt down the prey, and now we go into the modern world where it's not like that anymore. Everyone is civilized, and they talk about Zootopia, a city that welcomes all mammals, big and small. And then we go to a few years and we go to a whole freaking montage of how she made it into the academy. And I did actually like her character arc. It was actually really great. It just that it felt like that they were being slow yet fast at the same time. And to me, I felt like the movie was starting to pick up speed when Nick came into the picture, because up until Nick really joined the cast, like actually joined the story, it just felt like the movie was doing the same thing. Judy is a rabbit. Rabbits can't be cops. Let it go. This isn't a musical, because Chief Bogo, played by Idris Elba, said that life isn't some cartoon musical where you sing a song and your dreams come true. And I get why he said that, but if Zootopia was a musical, I think the joke would have went much more better. And then we go over to where Judy takes on the case. And I do love conflict in films, but to me, I just feel like the whole if you don't do this, you're fired, because Chief Bogo did say that if you strike out, you resign. You're because so basically, if she doesn't find Emmett Otterton, she has to quit and being a cop or a meter maid or whatever you guys want to say she is right now. And then we go over to where she blackmails, or I guess gets Nick to help her find Emmett Otterton, which makes a lot of sense now because he did illegally make a business. And I'm not gonna go through all the details. All you need to know is that if he doesn't help her, he'll go to prison and most likely sell popsicles there in the prison cafeteria. And then he leads her to the Naturalist Club, which is basically a club where animals can be naked. Now, for us, it's not a big thing because animals are always naked, but for them, it is a big deal because they are actually seeing them naked. Like if we were to switch it to perspectives of humans, yeah, she's seeing a lot down there. And that was actually really funny. This was one of those jokes that went over my head. Like I understood the joke, but not in the sense that it was like, oh my gosh, they're actually naked because they're animals. So of course this joke was gonna go over my head. And I did actually like that yak who basically knew everything about Emmett, but then they go over to an elephant who has no memory of it. And I get that joke too. Elephants don't always remember, they don't forget, but yet Nangi forgot. Yeah, that was a good joke too. Then they go over to Tundra Town. No, they go over to DMV and we see that scene again. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that was actually pretty funny. Flash being the fastest man ever, it made a lot of sense. I know that what they were referencing, but I don't think it was actually a reference. I think it was just coincidental. And then they go over to Tundra Town. Then they find the limo, and apparently they met these polar bears who works for a guy that Nick screwed over by mistake. Apparently he sold a rug that was made of the fur of a skunk, and I guess this overall carpet stank. I wish they kind of played the scene out more so we know how it actually really happened, because if it was made from the fur of a skunk, did it stink? Like as soon as they brought it into the room, did it stink? Did it stink when they brought it here? Like from the doorstep all the way up to the room? Or did they find out, or did someone tell them? It's hard to really say for sure. But in the end of the day, they went over to Tahanda, which I believe was the jungle area, and they met Mr. Monchis, I believe. He's the chauffeur that was transporting Emmett to Mr. Big, and apparently it never arrived because Emmett actually attacked. But then it's soon revealed by Mr. Hunches that he was the one who was attacked by Emmett Otterton because he just went savage, and it was so bad that he now has a black eye. And after that, he went savage and attacked Judy and Nick. And when they did get away and were going right to the location where they detained Mr. Monchis, well, he disappeared. And Judy was almost gonna get her badge revoked because, you know, the time was almost up, when really they have 10 hours left. Then we know exactly as to why Nick is the way he is. And he wanted to join the Scouts, and he was really excited. His mom knew about this. She scrapped the money together and actually helped him get to that point. But unfortunately, the club full of prey didn't trust a fox, the predator, because of course not. And because of that, they put a muzzle on him, and he learned two things. He wasn't going to let anyone get to him, and if anyone was going to see the fox that he is, there was no point in him being anything in Zootopia. And that's the thing about Zootopia. I found out that originally Nick was going to be the main character of the movie, and I did some more digging around, and there was a lot of reasons as to why that happened, why that changed, and it was because they felt like Judy would have been a much more compelling main character to focus on in the story. But I just wish that they did both. I just wish that they made both of them the main character, you know? Somehow made it to where we both saw how they are the way they are, and we both saw how they got together. Because there are a lot of movies that have two main characters, and we both see their origin story, or at least see where they are now, and then we saw why they are the way they are. And the way they did it with Zootopia with Nick and Judy, well, it just didn't really work for me. I don't hate that Judy's the main character. It's just that the way they're utilizing Nick as a character makes it as if he's barely hanging on as the secondary main character. Like, he's hanging on, whereas Judy is in the middle of it. Okay, she's standing in the middle and she's not falling. She's not going anywhere. So anyway, they find out that there are cameras all over Zootopia. So if they find the camera, they find what happened to Emmett Otterton and the missing jaguar, Mr. Monches. So going through the cameras, they found out that the Night Howlers is a band of wolves that captures predators who went prey. And now they have to find out where they went. So they go to an abandoned laboratory, they sneak in, they find all of the missing predators, including Emmett Otterton. And it's soon revealed that the mayor, who is Mayor Lionheart, is the one who captured everyone. And when they escaped, they contacted ZPD and arrested everyone who was involved and detained all the predators there. But then when Judy was describing how the animals went savage and it went to their DNA, well, something snapped in Nick, which caused them to break up. Well, more specifically, split up. And as a result, Nick left, and apparently the situation in Zootopia got worse and worse. As a result, Judy quit. She went back to helping her family with the farm, and she met a bully of hers whose name is Gideon Gray. Now, Gideon Gray was a bully of Judy in her childhood in the opening of the film. And when we next see him, he actually changed. He's gotten better. He's a gentle giant. He's helping with the produce. And then it's revealed that they have these assortment of flowers that keep the assortment of flowers, and Gideon says that they call them Night Howlers. And that is when she finds out that the Night Howlers isn't a band of wolves, but it's actually toxic flowers. And that's when she goes back to Zootopia to meet up with Nick again and finish the case for real. And they find out from a weasel, another one named Duke Weaselton. Oh my gosh, Frozen in Zootopia, man. After this, they find out that he's actually connected to the Night Howlers. And after finding it out, they find a trio of goats. And they find the lab that makes the Night Howler bullets, and they found out that they were the ones behind all of these predators going savage. And they were going to take the train, all of it, the train, to the ZPD so they can investigate how it happened. But after the chase, the train card is destroyed, yet they have a briefcase that can take them so that they can now bring that suitcase to ZPD. But then they are reprehended by the mayor's assistant, who is now replaced him as the mayor, and who is Bellwether, and it's revealed that she's actually the villain of the whole story. Now, when you first watch the movie, you don't see the twist coming. You don't see it building up. And this was in an era when Disney started making Disney twist villains for their movies. Pixar did it better, but Disney wanted to follow through, and I believe it started with Big Hero 6, then Frozen, and Zootopia was the third film to do this. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. And apparently, Bellwether was the one behind it. She was the one who wanted to control Zootopia and dart every predator in Zootopia just so that the prey can reign over the predators. And right when they were cornered into like a weird stadium-looking thing, she shot Nick and contaminated her with the virus, or with the Night Howler flowers. And right when Judy is bitten by Nick, it's soon revealed that he wasn't actually turned into a predator. Instead, the bullets were switched for blueberries. And she recorded her entire evil speech. And then it's revealed that right before she ran away, it was revealed the squad has already surrounded them. And, well, there you have it. Overall, I did actually like the movie. This movie was actually really great now. I know, like, when I first watched it, it was hard to really like the movie because of the realism. It felt like the movie was trying to be too real despite being an animated movie, and I had a lot of things going on that I just didn't feel like watching these kinds of movies. So watching it now, I didn't have that feeling anymore. It felt like I was watching an actual Disney movie that didn't have that musical feel to it, obviously. And it was nice to actually watch this movie again after all this time. And then we have a speech where Judy is basically telling us what she knew, what she learned, what she knew about the movie, and Nick officially becomes a cop. And they were technically still rookies, and they go to investigate a speed racer around the city, and when they do, it's revealed that it is Flash 100-yard dash, and the movie ends. And I gotta say that this movie was actually, like I said, this movie was actually really great. I enjoyed the movie. After all this time, I enjoyed watching every second of it. Nick is definitely my favorite character, and I did actually like the animation. It was around the time that animation wasn't being experimented anymore. Like, you didn't try different versions of it. Like, everything had to be 3D animation. So, I can't really say I'm tired of the animation. It's just that it's nice to, see more 3D animations, even if it is overdone and is kind of boring. But all in all, here's my rating. I'm going to give the story an 8 out of 10, and I'm going to give the movie a 9 out of 10.